She said, "Choke me, daddy." So I gave her 2 Popeyes biscuits without a drink.
I've seen that before.
That's pretty funny.
That's hilarious.
That's pretty good.
Can we start the podcast with that?
Yeah, that could be the opening. Welcome back to Can You Not?
Didn't you do that last time?
I did. I'm just trying to keep up by using the proper punctuation when I speak the name.
That's pronunciation.
It's also punctuation. It's not a period. Can you not? It's can you not?
Oh, what the heck?
I'm angry.
Anyway, we're back here in my apartment as per usual. And Amber, would you like to describe what you chose today?
So, I forgot it was my turn to pick a topic. So, in a flurry yesterday, I decided that the topic was weird shit.
It was quite a flurry.
It was quite a flurry. It took 2 hours for me to figure something out.
And just imagine you running around your apartment with just your hands flailing.
But in
the
reality, I was sitting on my couch staring at the wall going, what do I do? Oh no.
I would like to talk about this short film that everyone's been talking about. The Strange Thing About the Johnsons.
What?
I don't know if you guys have heard of it or not. But it's actually pretty disturbing. It's like a half hour long. It's pretty disturbing to me. It's actually a pretty good short film. Like, as a short film, it was pretty good. It was shot
People
well.
are just talking about it? It says it's 6 years old.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't know when it came out or anything. But the whole idea of the film.
Okay.
The dad, at the beginning, walks in on his son masturbating. And he has this whole talk with his son about how it's okay and everyone does it. And then when the dad leaves, it's a picture of the dad that the son was masturbating to. Then, later on in life, fast forward, son gets married. And during the wedding pictures, he grabs his dad's butt and says, "Thanks, Dad." Then, come to find out that the son is raping the dad.
What?
And the mom finds out about it, and he rapes his dad for a lot. Huh? She doesn't say anything. And, well, she doesn't say anything until the dad dies. Blah, blah, blah. Sorry for the spoiler, guys, but yeah. So,
Oh my god.
I want to talk about this whole, like, so there are other movies like this, right? There's the movie Old Boy, where the dad he doesn't know, but he's having sex with his daughter, but he doesn't know that it's his daughter. Then there's, like, the whole Oedipus, and then there's other stories of incest, right?
Yeah.
But in The Strange Thing About the Johnsons, it's a black family.
Mm-hmm.
So, at least I know in the black community, like, I saw this meme the other day that was like, since Valentine's Day falls on, and but this was just a meme. This is not a Brian belief. Throwing this out there. It says, since Valentine's Day is in February, that means we can only celebrate black love. And then it said, white people, you guys get April 10th or something like that. And then you look up April 10th, and it's National Siblings Day. So, like, in the black community, like, you see movies like Old Boy, or what's the other one? The something Flowers in the Attic, or something like that. And they pass off the incest as, oh, yeah, that's just white people, But with this film, like, everybody's, like, freaking out because it's a black guy raping his dad.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, and that idea, like, somehow breaks people. Like, I think of, Strange Thing About the Johnsons is really disturbing in the sense that, like, man raping father. Just generally that's pretty disturbing topic.
Yeah.
But I think that some of the other stuff is even more disturbing. Like, Old Boy was even more disturbing to me. But, like, black people are freaking out and making memes about this short film because it's black people this time. Like, how many of those people have seen Flowers in the Attic and not thought twice about it and just passed it off as weird white people? Or,
Yeah, it is interesting.
Or
It
Old
looks
Boy.
like it looks like the director's white, which I
Yeah.
guess complicates things. If he was black too, I'd be like, oh, okay, well.
I mean, I don't think it was meant to be a race thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it doesn't sound like it is a race thing. It's just.
I feel like a thing that happens is since people don't, like, it just doesn't happen very often where you have a fully black cast in a movie that gets popular where, like, it isn't about racism.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it isn't about, like, what the group in the Air Force. I don't remember the name of that movie.
Tuskegee Airmen.
Yeah, that, or like, you know,
Slavery.
the movies about slavery and that kind of stuff. Like, so I feel like for a lot of people, making a cast all black feels like a purposeful, decided choice.
Right.
That must mean something, you know. So that might be an influence because, like, to some people in their brains, like, well, why would you even cast all black people if it wasn't about them being black, you
Right.
know?
Right.
Like, so.
Yes, Shelby?
Well, I read this article after I watched it, and this guy made up a really good point about how that stuff isn't talked about in the black community in general.
Yeah.
So, for that, I think that's why it's so, like, shocking for everybody, because it's kind of like, okay, I mean, even the whole like that tweet that went viral when it was talking about how, like, black people in the family will condemn someone for being gay, but won't say anything about your pedophile uncle.
Yeah.
So it's like that. I feel like it's that kind of thing where it's like that's not something we talk about. That's not something we deal with. Even if it is happening in families, that's not something that we deal with because it's kind of like.
It's so taboo. You don't want to address it. Like,
right, and
if
it's like untouchable territory
right.
in the black community, so we don't talk about it. So when there's a whole like short
it's
film
like
made
embarrassing
about
for
it, it's
you.
like whoa, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's like you said, it's embarrassing, and it's like whoa, like we don't do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's not something we do.
That was what I thought of when I saw that the mom didn't do anything.
That's
like in the
exactly what I
movie,
thought.
like I was like, wow, so like the whole idea of condemning the gay family member as disowning them, but not addressing the creepy uncle kind of person. But this was like a 2-in-1 type of thing, and it wasn't like it was incest. It wasn't like pedophilia or like the son was raping the dad. Like there's a part of the movie where the dad is in the bathtub and he has his headphones on. This is like the most famous scene in the movie, at least from what I've seen the memes being about. And he has his headphones on, and the mom is in the next room watching TV, and the son is trying to open the door, and he's like, you know how I feel about locked doors. And then he busts down the door and starts raping his dad in the bathtub, and the mom just turns up the TV.
Yeah, the dad's like
Screaming.
really loud, and the mom, instead of actually going to do something, she starts crying and then
Turns up the TV.
Wow.
I mean, but that's, like I said, this is a little different because it's like the gay family member plus he's raping your husband. Like, it's almost like in the black community that shame is more important than actually having it solved. You know what I mean?
I mean, you hear stuff about parents doing awful stuff like that to their kids, but I don't even know if I've ever seen a story about a kid doing that to their parent. Like,
right.
But I'm sure it happens.
And the thing is, they said, like, he'd been raping or doing things to his dad since he was, like, 12.
Well, no, they said the first, if you remember, after the dad dies and the mom is interrogating the son, it was at his prom.
It was at his prom.
After his prom, when he went to pick up his son,
you're right.
first time that he raped his dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the mom ends up, I don't know if you guys want to know. Do you guys want to know what happens?
I don't care.
The mom ends up killing the son. She ends up, like, they end up getting in an argument, and then they start fighting, like fist fighting, literally, and then she kills him because he tried to burn her face off.
So I'm gathering that this is a fun family romp. Rated G film for the whole.
You said romp. Why'd you do that?
Definitely a tragedy.
Yeah, it's really
It sounds almost like a horror movie
Yeah,
to me.
but I just think it's interesting, like, people also like the fact that they've dismissed the idea of it being a tragedy. You know what I mean? Because that's exactly what those other films are too. Like Flower in the Attic, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Old Boy, those are tragedies. They're just like Oedipus, the story of Oedipus.
It is a tragedy, and then like people don't make memes about that type of stuff. People don't laugh about that type of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
With,
Well, people do make Oedipus jokes today, but that story's
Yeah,
also
but it's different.
old.
I'm saying like Flowers in the Attic and Old Boy, and I don't
Right.
know if like a lot of people in our generation haven't seen those movies. Like
Well,
maybe,
Flowers in the Attic is new-ish. Like the like 4-movie series or whatever.
Yeah, I know, but I've never heard anybody say, "Hey, have you seen Flowers in the Attic?"
Well, that's what another friend of ours was talking to me about today, which is kind of what led me to this. But that was just like, it's a weird thing. Obviously, that's why it's a tragedy. It's supposed to be uncomfortable, but I think the fact that it was black people specifically, it really was just interesting to me.
That's
Well, not
very
interesting, but really weird.
We should watch it on our Space Jam night.
Absolutely.
And bananas.
And bananas. What an
We're
odd
all
film.
facing our fears.
But I guess it got people talking about something that is not normally talked about. So
Yeah.
I guess that's what art's supposed to do. I stumbled across this article. Hitler doppelganger busted in Austria.
What?
So there's a 25-year-old man identifying himself as Harold Hitler, who has been spotted in Germany looking like Hitler. Slicked down hair, toothbrush mustache. And he's been hanging around Hitler's birthplace and posing for pictures at the building where he was born, which is really kind of messed up.
That's very messed up.
And the officials said his intent was to honor the Nazi leader. It's definitely not a carnival joke or an art project. The young man knows exactly what he's doing. Which, so, I don't know. I didn't really have an idea of where to spring off of this. But I guess it comes down to... It could go in a lot of different directions like this. We could talk about how Nazism is kind of back in fashion, unfortunately.
The leader of the KKK just died. They
Wait.
found his body in the river.
Wait, David Duke?
No,
the
there was a.
wizard.
It's not a. It was a grand wizard. It wasn't.
Isn't that a
David
leader?
Duke.
God, I don't know.
That's what I thought.
No, yeah, it wasn't David Duke though, not the leader.
It was the Imperial Wizard of
Yeah,
the KKK.
and his wife and son were charged with his
Oh,
murder.
that's what I heard, yeah.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
Man, this episode is all about
Frank
people
Ancana.
being killed by relatives.
Right.
No, I guess that would be a good springboard
he-
to go off of. What do you think appeals to all these new neo-Nazis, white supremacists?
I feel like they were
Donald
always
Trump.
there, and now they can just say it out
They
loud.
think they can say it out loud.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? Trump has bodyguards.
Wait, what?
Here's the thing, though. I think they've genuinely grown the movement in the last couple of years, though. That's the scary part for me. I think at first it was just overturning the rock and all the cockroaches were coming out. But I think at this point, I think they're genuinely adding more and more people to their ranks. And that's what I find really scary. And I think they're targeting, especially, a lot of people who have fragile masculinity. They're trying to find people who are, like... you're a white male who's had your stuff taken away, and you may not be popular, you may just be a loner, but you can be part of this movement that's all about embracing who you are and not being ashamed of it and stuff.
I don't want to look for it right now because I won't be able to find it, but I just read somebody posted on Twitter a big thread about a thing that happens is you get these like loner type white guys who spend all their time online, who don't have a lot of friends and are
Right.
like afraid of girls, and they start talking to like these other people, and it starts out as like, oh, we're just joking. Oh, like it's just this, we're not PC here, like this is just a joke, like we're just joking. And then it slowly just gets like more and more and more, like it just keeps adding and adding and adding, and then all of a sudden like you have this like full-fledged very racist person who's like angry and doesn't have any friends and like just takes it all out in that way.
You become the people you hang around.
Because I mean, if you look at it, like if you go online, and I don't recommend going to 4chan, but if like you look on 4chan or you look on like Reddit in certain places, like there are people who just like, you know, it's like this casual racism, these jokes, you know, it's about like anti-PC and shock factor. So it's like 9/11 jokes and it's like terrorist jokes and it's black jokes and all this stuff. But if you normalize that for a bunch of people who are already isolated and like looking for someone to blame, then it eventually turns into something much worse, I think.
That's why I hate internet trolls.
Yeah. I just I don't know what you can do about it because, you know, people say like, oh, the youth is so much more tolerant, they're so much more open-minded, they're more diverse. But what happens?
Ones that get out.
Yeah.
Things. If you isolate yourself, you're not gonna.
Well, some of these people don't isolate themselves. I mean, there's always people who don't have friends.
Just in general.
I think a lot of it comes down to education. But I feel that way about a lot of things. I feel that if our education system wasn't completely and totally just a disaster, then a bunch of problems would fix themselves.
Yeah.
Because you'd have a more intelligent group of people. I don't know.
Right. Well, it's a good thing we have a Department of Education who is really, really committed to...
Did you guys see the cartoon about her?
Yeah.
That happened today?
Did you see this, Brian?
No. Has she even, like... What is her plan?
She hasn't said any plans.
What is her plan? That's all I want to know.
It's a comparison. They compared her to a 6-year-old black girl who had to get...
Wow.
The Ruby Bridges was a 6-year-old black girl. Yeah, they drew a picture of DeVos like she's the same.
Yeah, like, have you ever seen that original photograph where people are...
It's not a photograph. It's a Norman Rockwell.
Oh, yeah, Norman Rockwell painting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And it's like...
Yeah, that's... You guys probably already seen it, but yeah. Yeah, so that's insane that happened. Like, comparing the two...
You know what's interesting about that? The person that really looks at these things and thinks they're the same. That one there.
Mm-hmm.
I like that one. Because here's the difference.
Yeah, well, exactly. Like, it's
instead of the just bodyguards, the bodyguards have the Nazi band.
Swastikas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's and that was a pretty scary... I feel like we're seeing a lot of shades of that, too, because, I mean, the context of that being all these middle-aged housewives, like, getting so pissed about this and protesting this girl going to school for, like, a year.
And they called themselves cheerleaders.
Yeah,
Like, they were proud of it.
It's like, it feels very...
Are you talking about the white women who were yelling about Ruby Bridges?
Yeah.
They're the group of mothers who went and were throwing tomatoes and protesting called themselves the cheerleaders. Like, they had a name for themselves and they would go like every day.
And they were successful because their whole mission was to keep schools segregated, and back in the 60s they put enough pressure and protested enough that they got a lot of schools to buckle down and, you know,
stay the way they are.
Yeah, stay the way they were. So it's like, I don't know, I guess maybe we should take that and say protesting can do things. Maybe we should spin it into something good, but...
I mean, it's just... That this even needs to be explained blows my mind. Like, I don't understand.
It's just interesting to see that that's really how they see this. Like, is this really... You really think these are the same?
It's the victimization factor.
Yeah.
That's what these people have been feeding off of for years, and they finally have totally embraced it.
But what I don't understand is, like, is it that they really are... Like, was that made to piss people off? Was that made... Or did they make that because they genuinely think that those are similar situations? You know what I mean?
I don't know, because I thought the cartoon was drawn by a Democrat, was what I thought, but...
Was it? I'm going to check now. I feel like it would be interesting to find out the intent, but I think...
Regardless of the intent.
Well, I mean, what what is striking is that even if, regardless of what the intention was, there are people who feel this way.
Yeah.
Like, even if it was just drawn to shock people or make money, there are people who believe this.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Yeah, it's just when you think of when you think of people restricting your hatred as victimization, that's where it gets really troublesome. Like when these people say like, oh, I don't have free speech to hate on, say, like black people or Jews, you know.
When the reality is they do.
Yeah, and the whole thing is like, well, telling you that you can't say terrible things to people is not restricting free speech if it's a hate crime, you know, like stuff like that. And it's so ridiculous. Or even just like the legalization of same-sex marriage is not a smackdown to you. It's by empowering a group of historically oppressed people, it is not, you can't, the way they spin that into being like, no, you're restricting our freedoms, it's so backwards. You
know what I think is interesting in that regard? The response to, even by people who are like conservative Catholics, to like, have you guys seen what the Pope said about how Catholics should be apologizing to people of color and to gay people like on a daily basis for how they, and instead of like doing so, they've like flipped on the Pope themselves.
Yeah. They say, well, the Pope determines everything, and that was their excuse for many years. And now that the Pope's like, hey, do these things, they're like, no. Right. Who are you? And that's how Trumpism is too. You know, it doesn't matter. Whoever it is on the inside could say anything. Speaking of happy fun times, we have our sponsor today. It is BarkBox. Ever heard of a dog before, listeners? Have you ever wanted a dog?
BarkBox.
Actually, maybe we should do a little improv here. So, Brian's gonna be a dog. Amber is going to be a BarkBox delivered to my doorstep. I'm Brian. I'm Brian's.
What
dog
do boxes do that
Woof,
will be pertinent to anything they? What?
Well, you'll have lines. We'll make this work.
Okay.
Next time maybe we'll script it and it'll be more put together.
Oh boy.
Okay. So, hello puppy.
Woof woof McWoof.
There's no owner? The dog is unsupervised?
Well, I was gonna say that I was the owner.
Oh, I thought you were the delivery person.
Maybe it's just a free range dog.
Yeah. I'd rather not have an owner.
I was about to say, that sounds really messed up. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Okay.
It's okay.
Here's a puppy that comes to my doorstep every day. Hello there, little puppy. You look like you could use some treats and some toys.
Okay, hold up.
Yeah.
This sounds like a creepy white van except with dogs. Like
Woof, yeah.
Just free dog treats is written on the side of the van. Dog is chasing after it.
I want to get this puppy in my life. Some of those things. So I'm gonna go to getbarkbox.com/canyounot and order a free month of BarkBox.
You mean my character isn't even here yet?
Yeah, it's not even here yet. You got the big reveal. So
woofing.
I'm gonna order a box that is for my size dog.
His name is Amber.
And it's a themed collection that's different every single month. So it will be even better because of that. Alright, I'm gonna order my box.
Well, the dog's hungry.
Anyway, so...
And then I pull, like, chicken out of my pocket.
Oh, my box is here. Ding dong! Opening the box.
And then I pop out.
Yeah.
There's no dog treats. It was a ploy.
And what do you say? What's your line now?
Who are you people?
Hello, box.
Where am I?
I got you for this dog who comes.
No, I popped out of the box.
Oh, you popped out of the box?
Yeah,
like a stripper in a cake.
Here's a human dog.
now, puppy.
You got your dog a stripper in the cake.
It was his birthday after all. Anyway, basically what we're trying to say is that you can get a free month of BarkBox today at getbarkbox.com/canyounot.
Oh, that was gold.
I hope BarkBox doesn't hate this ad. That's all I'm hoping.
Every time you drag us into the ads, they always end up really weird. Like, it's the second time this is happening now.
I think it needs to keep happening.
Oh dear. There are 2 twins named June and Jennifer Gibbons. They were born in 1963. They were identical twins. They grew up in Wales. And they ended up in the United States because they in the city where they moved to, they were the only black kids. So that was like traumatic to them.
Wow.
So they didn't talk to anybody except each other, and they actually ended up developing their like own language.
Whoa.
that they only spoke to with each other. And
Because they're just so isolated from the rest of society.
I mean, they had their parents. This is just what they did. I don't know. I'm trying to read while I talk at the same time. So when the twins turned 14, a succession of therapists tried unsuccessfully to get them to communicate with others. They were sent to separate boarding schools in an attempt to break their isolation, but they became catatonic and entirely withdrawn withdrawn when parted. They literally shut down when they weren't near each other.
God.
Okay, I'm just reading off the Wikipedia right now. When they were reunited, the two spent several years isolating themselves in their bedroom, engaged in elaborate plays with dolls. They created many plays and stories in a sort of soap opera style, reading some of them aloud on tape as gifts for their sister, because they had another sister. They also started writing in like 1979, and they would they took a bunch of like mail order creative writing classes, and they were doing all this writing, but every time they tried to get it published, it didn't work. But June wrote a thing called The Pepsi Cola Addict. And it was about a high school hero who was seduced by a teacher and then sent away to a reformatory where a homosexual guard made a play for him. Like, that was what that story was about. So, it's weird. I don't know. There's another one about a physician so eager to save his child's life that he kills the family dog to get its heart for a transplant. The dog spirit lives on in the child and ultimately has its revenge against the father. Like, this is what they wrote about.
Wow.
Okay,
I want to read these books.
dude, right? Okay, so let me find more details. So basically, they eventually like started setting stuff on fire. Like, they started committing arson and just committing crimes. So they ended up committed in a hospital, which was like a high security mental health hospital, where they were for 14 years. The doctors there thought that they were both deeply disturbed and dangerous. And now I'm reading from an NPR article. Some days only one twin would eat, and then the next day the other would indulge as her sister starved. Other times the nurses would find them frozen in the same pose, even though they are locked in cells on opposite ends of the hospital. But when she spent, when she spent with them, Marjorie, but I don't even know what that says. Marjorie was their other sister. I'm reading. Okay, so their sister Marjorie was reading through their diaries, and one of them said, like, in her diary, I think this one was Jennifer, "Nobody suffers the way I do, not with a sister. With a husband, yes. With a wife, yes. With a child, yes. But this sister of mine, a dark shadow robbing me of sunlight, is my one and only torment." And then the other sister wrote in her diary, "We have become fatal enemies in each other's eyes. We feel the irritating deadly rays come out of our bodies, stinging each other's skin. I say to myself, can I get rid of my own shadow? Impossible or not possible. Without my shadow, would I die? Without my shadow, would I gain life? Be free or left to die? Without my shadow, would I identify with a face of misery, deception, murder?" Okay, I'm not done yet. It just keeps going.
This is scary.
So when their sister was visiting them, like, I think it was like the day before they were getting released from this hospital, Jennifer was talking to their other sister Marjorie, and she said, "Marjorie, I'm going to have to die." And I sort of like, the sister like laughed and said, "You're 31, like, you're gonna be fine." And the sister replied, "Because we've decided." And like, Jennifer has got to die because they said that the day they left Broadmoor, which is the name of the hospital, the day that they were free from the secure hospital, one of them would have to give up their life to really enable the other one to be free. So, like, that's creepy. And then
But they were never near each other?
well, they were kept in separate rooms, but they still got to see each other and stuff. But like, okay, I'm just gonna read this last part and we can talk about it. Apparently what happened was that a car came to fetch them. Jennifer hadn't been very well the night before, and they turned and they looked at the green gates of Broadmoor. It had big green gates, and as they closed, Jennifer slumped on June's shoulder. She fell into a coma. Why the staff didn't do anything on the way, I don't know, but they drove down to Wales. Jennifer was taken and laid on a bed in the hospital. By 6:15 that night, she'd been taken into as a casualty, and she was dead. June had gone to visit her straight away, and afterwards had laid a red rose over her. Okay? And then it says, the cause of Jennifer's death still remains a mystery. The autopsy revealed major swelling around her heart. The coroner never found any poison in her body. Some doctors thought the high dose of medication she took at Broadmoor might have weakened her immune system, but the twins had received the same treatment during their time at Broadmoor, and June was in good health when Jennifer died. So these two crazies, like, were hanging out. They wouldn't talk to anybody. They set stuff on fire. Then they got committed, and then they hated each other, decided one of them had to die, and then she willed herself to die, and the other one's still alive.
Crikey.
What?
June is still alive to this day.
I believe so. The Wikipedia doesn't have a death date for her.
Kind of scary.
You know, what if she
That-
was some random lady you saw on the street?
Dude, that'd be creepy.
Why isn't this a movie?
I think there's a documentary and there's a book about it. They're
makes
known as the
sense.
Silent
Watch it.
Twins. Dude, we should.
The what?
They're known as the Silent Twins.
Let's watch it.
Yeah,
the
there's
Space Jam, the curious thing about the Jeffersons,
No, the strange thing about the Johnsons.
Jay's thing about the Johnsons, and
I'm sorry they used your name, man.
sorry. I guess there's a hip hop, the Death Grips, the double album The
Really?
Powers That Be by hip hop band Death Grips references the twins
I
thematically.
didn't know that.
That's pretty cool. So you can look at that now
Wow.
because Jesse brought them up.
Yeah, I love Death
Yeah,
Grips. I'm gonna have to listen to
the
that
twins
again.
were an inspiration for the Kurt Vonnegut novel Slapstick. So I kind of want to read that now.
Wow.
Like,
hey, Kurt Vonnegut's pretty awesome.
I didn't like Slaughterhouse-5, but I would read it because I'm interested in these chillins. But like, oh my god, this is
Wow.
terrifying, y'all. By 2008, the living twin was living quietly and independently near her parents in West Wales. She was no longer monitored by psychiatric services, was accepted by her community, and sought to put past behind her. A 2016 interview with her sister, Greta, revealed that the family was deeply troubled by the girls' incarceration. She blamed Broadmoor for ruining their lives and for neglecting Jennifer's health. And she wants to, like, sue Broadmoor, I guess.
Wow.
But
You certainly lived up to the topic.
this is the only reason I picked this.
That's a weird one.
I know. So how do God, this is so creepy because I'm not really like a superstitious person. So like that this really happened. Just like she just died.
Yeah.
She was like, I need to die, and then she did. It's like,
So
what?
bizarre.
You can't will yourself to die. That's
Right.
not how that
Had
works.
their own special language and everything. What a
Yeah.
man.
Let's
Gosh.
make conversation.
That's terrifying.
I don't even know what to say. I'm
I
still
don't
like trying
either.
to take it in.
I'm trying to figure out how
Still
to
trying to
not
wrap
have
my head around
nightmares.
everything.
I'm trying to figure out how to not have nightmares.
Probably go find the movie and watch it.
Oh no.
It's a good way.
Or I could just watch some Phineas and Ferb.
Oh, that'll make
That'll
your day a
fix
little
it.
brighter.
I want to see if I can find because they look like normal kids.
Yeah, I want to see what they look like.
Yeah, they're just some little girls.
I get the impression
When
that
was
Brian
this?
doesn't want to know.
Like in the 60s or something.
All creepy stuff happens in the 60s,
The
and
60s was
70s.
so creepy.
Hold on, I'll go back. That's not what I want.
I'd much rather be a millennial than a creepy as hell.
Oh boy.
So yeah, I want to read this book.
Yeah, I do too now.
Awesome.
I'm gonna watch the documentary.
Yeah, The Silent
see the
Twins is the documentary. Yeah.
Oh man, we should legit have like an actual viewing night where you just come over and get.
Okay,
like, a
that's the
projector.
play. That's not actually what they look like. Because
Is
there's also
that
a play
them?
about them. This is them.
Oh. Wow.
Here.
It's these two
Right, they just
little
look
blonde-
I mean, they
normal
just
little
look like
girls.
little girls. It's loading. They're just little girls. Like, I don't know.
But they're not just little
She
girls.
looks like a creeper.
How old was? How old were they roughly when?
When that happened,
Yeah.
31. They
Oh,
were
that's
born
right,
in
yeah.
1963.
Was that them? Because that looks like a picture could have been from that era.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Hmm. I like how one of the related searches is
Evil twins June and Jennifer. Magical. Maybe that's them. Because they did live to be 30.
Yeah, I mean, they looked so normal.
Yeah.
You would never think. Is that Carrie Fisher that they're with? It looks a lot like Carrie Fisher.
I don't know.
I think that is Carrie Fisher. Crazy.
Oh, man.
Most legit crazy people are normal.
But yeah, I want to...
I mean,
Like,
all
I'm
of us
really
look
surprised nobody's made, like, a really big horror movie about
Yeah,
this.
this could be
like,
Brian, this could be our chance. We got to make a huge, based on a true story.
I
movie
feel like
on this.
I'd be scared. No, let's do it though. Yeah.
Time's
you
up.
have to find little girl twins who can act
Oh, great.
in a terrifying way.
We'll make it a CGI movie. We'll just have voiceover.
I'm trying to
Or
imagine
we'll get
the
Lake-
high budget animations you would come up with.
We'll get Leica to do it. It'll be a stop motion
Oh.
film.
I'm sure like I'll be all over it.
They do creepy stuff.
It's not, but it's like whimsical creepy. This is just
Yeah.
straight up creepy. Like
Right.
there's nothing whimsical about this. Like
It's just demented creepy.
I have to die, and then she did. What? Like
Oh boy.
I don't really know if I want to make it that whimsical. I don't.
I feel like whimsical creepy would make it creepier to me.
I feel like then I would just be worried about the sanity of the people who made it if they try to make that whimsical. So
Well, if you want to check out more fun and whimsical episodes of this podcast, you can go to iTunes. You can go to the SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/CYN podcast. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on the Facebook, on the Twitter. We're under CYNPLZ on Twitter. Yeah, we're everywhere,
you
guys.
can find us on the street.
You can find us. Yeah, if you find us on the street, give us a high five. Tell
You
us how
can
much
you
love
can
the show.
find us like my econ professor did. He was like, "You're on the radio." I was like, whoa, what?
If you have any feedback, suggestions, opinions, ideas, creepy stories of your own, email us at canyonotpodcast@gmail.com.
I still want somebody to like draw us,
Oh,
like
that'd be great.
so bad.
Wait, they need
I've
a
been-
picture of me though.
That's true. Well, I mean,
we still haven't shown Brian
your
anywhere.
Your Twitter's in the.
You're right.
I
Wait,
updated it.
Do I have a
yeah.
picture of me on Twitter?
Oh, I don't know.
Like,
They're gonna draw a picture of your
Foil
profile
again.
picture.
We're gonna get a photo shoot sometime. We just need to
Eventually,
figure
one
it
day.
out.
and now that we found someone that's willing to do
Yeah,
it,
guys, life is busy. Guys, life is hard. You don't understand.
who said life was easy?
Oh.
Shout out Toya.
Anyway, what did we learn today?
Who went first?
Oh, yeah, I did go first. I learned that.
I saw that SpongeBob meme on your phone.
When Bae tells you to write something you love about her, that ass.
And SpongeBob. Sorry, I got distracted.
What did I learn today? I learned that creeps come of all races. Not really a learning.
Yes.
I knew that before.
I learned that creeps come from all places.
I learned that Joe wants to make this weird twin willing themselves to die thing whimsical.
Because Joe's a creep.
So that's good.
'Cause I'm a creep.
Shut up! Stop it!
I'm a
That made it so much worse. Turn it off. I'm mad.
Amber changed the channel.
I'm done.
Amber's predicting what a future Amber might say while listening to this episode.
I think I'm gonna listen to. Just kidding.
Have you ever listened to any of our
I've
episodes?
listened to a couple of them.
I've listened to a couple of
Once in
them.
a while.
For all our listeners out there in Radio Land, can you not?
For the living twin woman who's either June or Jennifer, I don't remember
It's
anymore.
June.
Can you not kill me,
And
please?
for whoever made Strange Thing About the Johnsons, please not ever, please can you not ever again.